This is a porn video of me, but it's completely fake.
This is just someone's fantasy about having sex with me.
We've been investigating deepfake porn, an abusive industry that's been growing rapidly with the help of artificial intelligence.
If you didn't know this wasn't me, you'd think it was real.
A world of digitally altered videos and images that can be made using just one photo of someone's face. Our team discovered that more deepfake porn videos were created in 2023 than all other years combined. On the top sites alone, videos have been viewed more than 4.2 billion times. For several months now, it's been illegal in this country to share deepfake porn. But today the government went further, outlawing the creation of such images. But experts say that lawmakers around the world have failed to keep up with the technology and its misuse.
It's a very bold and powerful move. I very much welcome it. Unfortunately, there are some loopholes in the legislation that is going to criminalise creating deepfakes, but only when we can prove that the person doing that intended to cause distress. Now, unfortunately, that means if the person is doing it for sexual gratification, to make money, to boost their status amongst their friends, those incidents won't be covered. So what we really need is big tech companies to step up and act swiftly to end this horror of deepfake sexual abuse.
Florist Sophie Farris found out how difficult it was to bring perpetrators to justice when she discovered deepfake nude images of herself online last year. Someone close to her family had taken her pictures from social media and uploaded them to a website where men shared deepfake nudes.
I mean, I think it's a step in the right direction. Do I necessarily feel like it's enough? Probably not. The one thing we tried to go down the line of malicious communication, but they needed the person who did it to say that they did it with malicious intent. Now, for the victim to go, well, I am humiliated by the fact that this has happened, will that then give prosecuting lawyers a bit of leverage to go, well, it has humiliated them, even if that maybe wasn't the intent? There's just this grey area that needs to sort of, I suppose, have a little bit more clarification.
Laura Farris, the Minister for Victims and Safeguarding, is spearheading the change to the law. She told me earlier why she decided to act.
Well, it's something that we know is evolving rapidly in a way that's actually completely out of control. We hear, obviously, stories of well-known people, including you, who have been victims of this from all walks of life, but also we're hearing victims who are school children or students or ordinary women who have discovered content that is so degrading and explicit, featuring their, what is recognisably their face, but it's not them, and it looks totally realistic. And so when this bill was going through the House, we realised that this was an opportunity actually to act where no national government has ever acted, and to criminalise even the creation of a deep-fake, sexually explicit image.
When you say it's out of control, I mean, it sounds as if the proliferation of this it's an epidemic, really.
And that's why we wanted to close the door now and send the explicit message that it is a criminal offence. You'll end up with a criminal record, even if you do this in the privacy of your own home. And the analogy that we've been using is it is a criminal offence in this country to create an explosive device. Even if you say, I was never planning to use it, it was something I was just going to set off in the garden. Because if it falls into the wrong hands, or if the intention of the maker changes, then it could have catastrophic consequences.
But they do worry about some of the loopholes. For example, how difficult it might be to prove malicious intent. And also, someone could say, well, I didn't make it, I simply asked an app to make it. So how do you pin that down? Will you close some of these loopholes?
So you're right to raise these points, because they're the points that we're working through within government. The first point is that if you use an app to create one of these images, you will be within the scope of the offence, you will be committing a crime, and people should be crystal clear on that.
But you do have to prove that your intent was malicious.
Well, if you're malicious is widely constructed in this, so if you're doing it for the purposes of sexual gratification, and it will be, I think, reasonably easy to infer if someone's created, a porn film of a person that they know that was the purpose of doing so, they're very likely to fall within scope. So It is not a high threshold that's intended to sort of give leeway to a lot of this. It's the opposite. 98% of it is pornographic, and in that content, 99% of the subject matter is a woman. So this is an inherently misogynistic offence, and that is why we are closing this loophole today.
Big tech could stop this right now. What pressure are you going to put on them to do that?
I mean, big tech could stop this, and whenever we have them into Parliament, you know, they are always talking a really good game. Sometimes I have been profoundly disappointed by what some of the big social media companies in particular have said to us in person, and some of the content we know that they host, and frankly, I fear rather encourage on their side.
Because they're making money out of it.
Of course, yeah.
Ultimately, they're not going to take action until you hit them where it hurts, and that's the bottom line, as you said. Until you make an example of one of these companies, it's not going to change,
well,
is
look,
it?
I agree with that, and that is why we've got such stringent sanctions in the Online Safety Act. You're right to say it's in the process of implementation, but I hope in the next 6 to 12 months you'll see really radical action, and I hope actually we won't see these huge fines because the companies themselves will start to work with us. But at the moment, yes, we do have concerns.
Every day, thousands more deepfake videos and images are uploaded. If big tech proves unwilling to act and governments find themselves unable to, that's to the detriment of women and girls the world over.